All right, welcome to episode 9 of Reality Rundown, where we are recapping tonight's Veto episode. I'm your host, Connor Nelson, along with my co-host, Christian Holman. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. If you're watching on Twitch, make sure you follow. Tonight's episode was the Veto episode, and clearly Janelle and Casey are up on the block. And this episode kind of starts with just Janelle and the DR being like, I'm not going to whine and cry. I'm not going to be like Nicole F. I'm not just going to lay down and roll over. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, there's some serious bad blood right there.
They really don't like each other.
They really dislike each other. So it kind of makes me want Janelle to stay over Case a little bit. But I don't really know. I'd like to see Kaser kind of also playing that without Janelle. But yeah, I really want to see Janelle and Nicole just get into it. That'd be nice.
It would be really funny. I agree. But I mean, again, I like both of them. I would like both of them to stay, but clearly that's not an option at this point in time. But if I had my pick, it would be Janelle just because I think she would cause more chaos, and I think Kaser would kind of just blend in and not really do much and probably just go up the next week. I don't know. But that's kind of where it starts. Then Kaser talks about how out of 3 seasons, he's been on the block with Janelle 4 times, and he's only been on the block with Janelle, which is kind of crazy if you really think about it.
Yeah, it's like I before the episode started, I was thinking about how literally Kaser's gone home before Janelle every single time. But then I didn't realize that they were always on the block together.
Yeah.
So that's literally insane. Like that you would have thought that they would have talked to each other and be like, hey, we gotta, which we mentioned last week or last episode, we gotta just not seem like we're up each other's butt.
Yeah. And I think they kind of wanted to do that, but when they got there, most of the people that they thought were going to be there weren't there. So like, well, crap, what do we do now? So like they kind of just had to because no one was talking to them. No one wanted any part of them. So it kind of just got forced into being like, well, I guess we're together and let's see how this works out. But
yeah, it's also crazy how the whole line of old school, new school was drawn, where it was Kaser and Janelle, and then everybody else.
Yeah, and like some of the people that were like kind of on the verge of like being old school, like didn't even go with them. Like they were like, we're just like Memphis, Ian, Enzo, like the people that you thought maybe would like work with Janelle and Kaser this season, they wanted no part of them. So it was weird. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me, but
yeah, I mean, with what we've seen from the season, obviously it would appear that it's a good move for them not to have tied up with them as one half the houses at power every single week.
Yep.
And you can expect that to kind of be the theme all season.
It's kind of how it's been the last like 5 years, 4 years, maybe even more than that. I mean, it's like
I'd love to see CBS do something to where
change it up because it's kind of been like real stagnant of like the same thing keeps happening. So like they need to either like mix up the comps or do something to where not one side is just controlling everything because that's kind of how it's going. And to be fair, it works. So like that strategy is what works in this game, and people are figuring that out.
Yep. Which maybe next season we see a 32-person house and we have 4 HOHs every week. Everyone is in a single group, and it just switches up every single week. You know, just see some chaos.
Is that your plan?
That was what just came to my head. So that's what I'm throwing out there for us.
So after this, we get Davon up in the HOH room with Tyler, and basically she's just like making sure she's good. Like she kind of feels like there's a hint of people going against her and people aren't trusting her. So she's just going up there making sure everything's going to plan. She's not going to get backdoored. If one comes off, she's not the one going up. Which, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird to go up to your alliance member and make sure you're good.
Yeah.
So, like, her trying so hard is obviously putting a target on her back.
Yep. And she's even like, who would you put up if one came down? And Tyler like wants no part of that question. He just avoids it completely. So it's very clear that she doesn't feel safe within people that she's supposed to be working with, which is never a good place to be.
Yeah, which that's another weird thing. If these are your alliance members, Tyler, and you're not talking about your secondary plan, which I mean, I guess that's what worked for him last year. Maybe not spilling your beans, but
yeah. I don't know.
In my head, I would be talking about decisions, but also Davon's probably not someone who wants to work like that.
Yeah, true. Janelle says that she knows that like she has no one in this game except for Kaser, so like if she's gonna come off the block, she's gonna have to win it for herself, and she's exactly right. Like no matter what, it may be Bailey, but like I don't even she really feels that confident in Bailey doing it. But she knows that like it's she wins or she goes home, which is a good read because if she wins, she is gonna go home.
Yeah, nobody would pull them off. Janelle would have to make such a good case to be like, all right, if you pull me off, here's how I'm going to keep you safe.
Yeah.
And it can't just be that I'm the target, because as soon as you save the target, now you're the target.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way to express to those people as to why people aren't going to target you whenever you just screwed everybody over.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and this leads us to perfectly in with Bailey and Janelle are talking in the have not room, and Janelle's just like, if I get house guest choice, like, can I pick you? Will you play for me? And Bailey says, like, right then, yeah, like, I'll play. And then later, like, right after the conversation, she's in the DR and she's like, I don't know if I'll take her down. Like, I'm gonna like evaluate and go based off what's best for me. But when she was talking to Janelle, she also said, I'm not going to promise anything to her, but she did say, if you get house guest choice, I'll play. So I don't know if that's insinuating, like, yeah, I will play for you. But I guess if you're asked that, you can't say no unless you're just, like, blatantly against somebody.
Well, a lot of people do say no, they don't want to play in house guest choice.
Yeah.
Because they don't even want to be put in any situation.
Yeah.
But
I think if anyone was to take her down, it would be Bailey. I don't think it's plausible, but if anyone was in the house, it would be her.
Yeah, which the only way Janelle could really convince her to have pulled her down if she played in it would have been like, hey, we got it. We have to get a solid alliance somehow, and we have to win HOH. Yeah. But not make it feel so desperate for Bailey. Just be like, we're gonna win HOH when we get this solid.
But the thing is, like, Bailey and Janelle are like actually super close in the house. Like, they're not showing how close they are, but like they're actually like Bailey's probably like Janelle's her number 2.
Yeah.
But like she has nothing to really like. She has no one else like backing that. So it's basically Bailey alone. And like if she does pull her down, it's like she's gonna be seen as like, why did you do that? Like we didn't want you to do that, and she's going against everybody else. So it really hurts her game. So she can't like. There's really nothing she can do. Basically, like honestly, it's basically just like Tyler. Like Tyler really probably didn't want to put Janelle and Kaser up, but that's what everybody wanted. And if he went against that, it's like, oh, like I can't. You can't do that.
Yeah, the only way he could have done that is, again, you have to talk to the few people that you're closest with, and you guys all have to be, we can probably get away with it in some way.
And then, like, this season, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the original All-Stars, Janelle goes up on the block, and you have Dr. Will and Mike Boogie. They're clearly, like, the biggest pair, the biggest threat. Like, everybody knows it. And Dr. Will's just like, Janelle cannot go home this week. She alone is a bigger target than me and Boogie are together, which is crazy to think about. But it's true. Like, Janelle is a huge target in the house, and you would think these people would want her there just as like a shield, just anything. But they want her out so bad, and they've wanted her out since week 1 so bad. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it really blows my mind in the game how everybody wants to get rid of the biggest threats week 1. Like, as long as you're not the biggest threat shouldn't be your target.
Especially this year when literally, like, let's say Janelle stays. It's not like she has anybody. It's not like she's going to, like, stay and have all this power, have all these people behind her. She literally, like, the one person she had, Nicole Anthony, she thought she had Nicole Anthony, but she didn't even have her. So, like, she literally has nobody. So even if she does get power, she's going to have 1 week, and that's it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's a good lesson to see. I mean, they say legends never die, but, Janelle's legend hasn't helped her at all.
That does show just how good of a player Dr. Will is and was. How, like, that was his mindset, but, like, these players don't see it that way. They just want them out as quickly as possible and then have floaters just everywhere. It just, I don't know. It's, I guess, just a different season.
I mean,
I don't know.
It makes sense in the terms of, like, let's crush the competition so we can run the house. But
she's not even winning anything.
No, not yet. Definitely no. But she's still she has that aura of, she won a lot of comps in 1 season, maybe 2 seasons where she won a lot of comps.
14 years ago. Even in 14, she didn't win anything. Like, that's the thing. Like, you got to go based off, like, the most recent, where it's just like, she's not done anything. So I don't see it. I don't get it. But
yeah, but the idea is like, let's crush the competition. So we're only playing against floaters. We win every single week. We just have an easy ride. But that never it works for the person who wins, but the other people tend to get backstabbed.
yeah. And then so from here we go to Dani and Nicole. They're in the love room, and basically this whole segment is just Dani talking about how she wants to plant seeds in everybody in her alliance's like head about another person in the alliance, and how that they're a threat, and how they've got to get out sooner than later, and then just let all of those build until they just start going after each other, and then she's left in the middle. Which really, I mean, it makes sense, but it will eventually catch up to her.
It definitely
At least I think it's going to.
I think it definitely can catch up, especially if someone starts doing the same thing about her, because all it takes is just a little bit of fire on her name for people to be like, oh yeah, you know what she said about you?
Yeah.
Which, did she say anything bad about Nicole Franzel? I didn't see. I didn't hear.
I don't
what
know.
She said about her.
I'm not sure, but I think she's done it basically about everybody, and really her main one is Tyler. Like, she really wants Tyler out sooner than later because she knows how good Tyler is. Like, they get along, they like each other, but she's just like, he's gonna win this game if we don't get him out. So, and Tyler kind of like is the same way about her. He's like, Dani's playing the best game right now. We need to focus on her sooner rather than later. So I think that's kind of going to be what it is Tyler and Dani going against each other, and it's just who gets like the other one first.
Yeah, which is definitely a potential for a next week thing. And what you are likely to see is one of them pick up whoever stays this week too.
Yeah.
In that instance.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
It would, so far it seems that Kaser would be more, or Janelle are more likely to work with Tyler than Dani.
I agree with that.
From what I've noticed.
I agree. But yeah, that was like a really long segment basically for no reason. Just basically showing how Dani's running the house, which I don't think it's really that way. Like, Dani's playing good, but I don't think she's necessarily like running the house. That's what they kind of were trying to portray.
I actually liked that segment a lot. I didn't see it as she was running the house, opposed to she was attempting to manipulate the house, which obviously at the moment is working.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have showed it.
And then also, did you catch the when she was talking about Janelle and how she wants Janelle out, and she was talking about how she's the queen, but there needs to be another coronation or a new coronation for her. So like, I think she's actually really jealous of Janelle, and that's why she's like really wanting her out, so she can like take over as the Big Brother queen, which will never happen. But I think that's what she thinks. If she knocks her out early, that she will take that spot.
That's definitely highly likely. I mean, especially first week that Janelle's there, Danielle instantly wants to go after her. So,
and it makes no sense because Janelle from week one is like, I'm with you. I will never vote against you. I will never put you up. Like, you would think you would want to keep that person in the house, especially since they've had like this pre-existing like relationship outside of the house. Like, they're friends outside of the house. They've known each other for like 13 years, and yet she's like, I have to get her out. Like, she's terrible for my game. Makes no sense. Nobody has linked you with her. No one thinks you're with her. Like, keep her in. You don't have to work close with her, but just know that you're safe with her, and that's all that you need. It's just
and don't actively target her.
Yeah,
like don't make her on anyone else's radar either.
Yeah, like this week she should be pushing for Kaser to leave, yet she's pushing for Janelle to leave. Just doesn't make sense. But
yeah,
I don't know. Whatever. Then we get to the segment of the face washing with Janelle and Ian, and I'm assuming, is that blood she's putting on her face?
I don't think so. I tried to ask what it was too. I'm pretty positive it's not blood. It's just red, and it looks like it. But I had someone sitting next to me, just going, "Ooh, why would you put that much on there the whole time?" So I didn't get to hear a lot of it.
Either way, what she's putting on her face is super acidic, and she says it has a 3.6 pH balance. And so Janelle thinks this is 3.6% acid that's in the face wash, and Ian's like, no, like
very acidic.
That's 3.6 on the pH scale, which is extremely acidic. And she's like, oh. And she's like, I gotta take this off. But yeah, Ian's like explaining it to her, and she has no idea. But that just shows like how different like Ian is from like the rest of the house. He's just like, he's very smart and just like.
I mean, he taught. What was it he used to teach? Was it?
I think chemistry or physics.
Yeah. Physics. So he knows a lot about science and whatnot.
But yeah, that was funny. I think, was Enzo part of that? There's someone else in there. I don't know.
I don't know who.
I don't think it was Enzo. There was some. I don't know. After this, we get to the veto players being picked.
It was
Kaser. Yeah, Kaser. We get to the veto players being picked, and did we? Is this? Yeah. This is it. So veto players get picked, and Tyler goes first, and he pulls out Cody, which Janelle and Kaser are like, you got to be kidding me. Like, of course, that the first person he pulls out has to be Cody, not House Guest Choice, just Cody's name, which classic. Kaser goes second. He pulls Bailey, and Janelle, I'm sure, is relieved by that. She's like, I don't have to show my cards by picking her. He already picked her. We're good. And then she pulls out Memphis. So Janelle and Kaser are like, we're screwed. Like, this sucks. That could not have gone any worse except for the Bailey pick.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I think had Janelle got House Guest Choice, she would have picked Nicole Franzel.
Who? Janelle?
Nicole Franzel.
Oh,
yeah. I think Janelle would have picked Nicole Franzel.
Oh yeah, maybe just because it would be.
First of all, she's weak, and secondly, Nicole would be so mad. Yeah. And it would be hilarious.
Yep. And she already kind of like alluded to that when she was like, if it were up to me, I would rather play against someone like Nicole Franzel, super weak, not gonna win, as opposed to like the people that are picked. But it was unfortunate that happened.
Yeah, definitely. It was worst case scenario, I'd say though for them.
You good?
Podcasting makes me yawn. I don't know what it is. I'm just so comfortable on the mic, I guess.
But right after this, we get Dani and Bailey in the storage room, and Dani is like, you got to win this. Like, you actually have to try to win this. And I think she's doing this because she wants to make Bailey have to show her cards. Like, you're either going to take her down or you're not, and you're with us. Anything on that? Yeah, I'm here. Oh, did I lose you?
You were frozen, so I didn't know if you were still talking or not.
Oh, I thought you were just sitting like that. I didn't know you were frozen. My bad.
Yeah, I think Dani was going really hard on her, and it obviously made Bailey uncomfortable.
Yeah, Bailey's not that type of player. Bailey does not like being cornered, doesn't like being told what to do, and doesn't like the aggressive, like, you need to do this is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So on Dani's part, I don't see why she did that. Like, who cares if Bailey gets it? Like, tell Tyler and Cody to get it. Don't tell Bailey. Like,
well, I mean, I see why she's saying that to her, but it's just a strategy failure. She just really failed strategically with that idea because it instantly makes Bailey dislike you.
Yeah, 100%. Janelle and Kaser are talking in the key room, and this is when they're talking about, like, this. It could not have been a worse draw for us. Like, we're up against literally, like, the best competition in the house with Tyler, Cody, and Bailey, and just them two. Memphis. Yeah, like, literally the people, all three of those people have won everything this like whole season. So it's like, you got to be kidding me. Like, of course this happens. Which, again, it's just unfortunate that came that way, but had to happen, I guess.
The Big Brother gods have spoken.
So then we get to the veto competition, and Christmas is the host, and it's called the Cupcake Clash. And they have this every year, something like this. It's not maybe exactly like this, but it's pretty close.
I don't
maybe not every year, but I know I've seen it.
Even similar to this, really, in terms of it being a puzzle where you're stacking.
I've definitely seen. I don't know if it's every year, but I've definitely seen it.
I haven't seen this in recent years, I'll say, but I like the competition. I don't think it's. I thought it was actually really easy.
I agree.
I'm pretty good at those kind of things, so I thought it was easy. So seeing like some of them struggle, I was like, "Come on, guys."
Yeah, what are we doing? Yeah, so it starts off with there's a bracket, and it's pulled by random draw out of the veto box. And so the first round is, who was it?
First round was
Tyler versus Kaser.
Yep.
And then Cody versus Bailey, and then Janelle versus Memphis. So Kaser and Tyler, I'm struggling. Kaser and Tyler go first, and basically all you have to do is there's 3 colors, and you have to stack each 2 like frosting and I don't know what, like the top of it with sprinkles.
You stack the ice cream.
Ice cream on top of the frosting, right? And you have to have them in the correct order of the colors. And so, and you can't put any on the ground. You have to keep them on the rods. And so Tyler and Kaser go first. And Kaser, it looked like he was going to win his first round. And I thought he was going to win his first round because I didn't even notice because he buzzed in and he didn't have the right colors on the right base. And I didn't see that either until he hit it and it was like try again.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that the colors were different at the beginning.
I didn't either at all. I thought he had it easy.
Yeah, I didn't even think to look at those things because I don't know. I just didn't even think to look at them. So maybe I would have done the same thing if I was in the house.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have just because I think pretty highly of myself. But
he doesn't get it, and Tyler gets it with like a time of like 1 minute and 20 seconds or something.
I think it was 37 seconds.
No, was it?
Yeah, he had 37 seconds on that.
Oh, okay. Well, 37 seconds, which is super fast. And it doesn't show this, but after the veto, well, we'll get to it. They don't show this part, but I'll talk about it. So next we have Cody versus Bailey, and Bailey struggled. She acted like she had no idea what was going on. And Cody, it looked like he breezed through it, which he didn't get it to go as fast as Tyler, but the way they showed it, it looked like he like went way faster than Tyler. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was slower on that one than he was on his last two. I think he got in a groove as he says later on in one of them. But yeah, he definitely figured it out.
Yeah. So Cody advances to the next round, and then we have Memphis versus Janelle. And this one's kind of interesting because the way everybody saw it and then the way Memphis was thinking, they were in two different places. So they start, and it looks like Memphis is like, he literally has one completed, yet he takes the top of it off and puts it on another one to try to like get, I don't know. For some reason he did that. And so everybody on the sidelines like, Memphis is throwing this. Like, it's very clear Memphis is trying to throw this, and we like, why is he doing this? And so Janelle's struggling, she can't get it done, and Memphis buzzes in and gets it right, and he advances, but everybody's still thinking like he 100% tried to throw that for her and give her time to get it done. And it's going to the DR with Memphis like, I 100% want to win this. Like, I don't need to win this, but I want to show these people I'm here to play, and I don't want to just like not win. So I don't think he was throwing it, or at least he didn't sound like he was throwing it.
Yeah, I don't think he was throwing it. I think he got carried away and moved some things.
Yeah.
But this happens every single season where people think someone's throwing something, and they're like, in the DR, yeah, I'm gonna win it. I'm trying to win it. But it just happens whenever you do something that looks so stupid it can't be real.
It looks like you're throwing it.
People are like, oh, this guy he's the worst.
And it doesn't help that Memphis the previous week wouldn't do what the group wanted in favor of Janelle and Kaser. So that's kind of, it doesn't help his case. So Memphis is out, or no, Memphis moves on, and Tyler had the fastest time out of the 3 rounds, so he moves on to the championship, and so we have Memphis versus Cody, and Cody just annihilated him. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, Cody definitely figured it out. He was flying through that sucker.
Yeah. So we get to the championship. It's Cody versus Tyler, and it's just the same thing. Like, they mix them up. They go. Cody wins. But this is the thing. Like, when it gets done, everybody in the house was like, if Tyler did it in 37 seconds the first round, why was he struggling so bad the last time? So they were like, he definitely threw that last round, so he didn't have to show his cards or have to like make the decision. Which I don't think it really amounted to anything, but everybody was like really like sketched out by the reason like he didn't like go hard that last round. Which I don't think he thought of it that way. He was just like, who cares who wins this? Like, it doesn't really matter. We're keeping them the same anyways. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how fast he did it. It seems like Cody kind of did it really fast.
Yeah.
But even if you do it in 37 seconds the first round, it's different every single time.
Yeah.
And he actually got beat in the first round had Kaser realized what color the bottom of the cones were.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, yeah, Cody wins the veto, and they go inside, and then we have this super long segment of Christmas's punishment, which is the all-star babies. And basically, she has to take care of this stuffed star, and every time it says, like, it wants to go for a walk, you have to go walk it in the yard, you have to feed it, you have to rock it on your knee, and then as time progresses, they keep having more babies and more babies and more babies. So I think, like, the episode showed 9, and I think, like, right now she's up to, like, 13. So it's good. I mean, it's better than some, but, like, it did not need to be that long of a segment.
I think the concept of it is really funny. I like the idea of a punishment getting bigger and bigger as it goes, because I don't think that's ever happened in Big Brother, where you start with punishment 1 and then punishment 2 piles on top of it. Even though it's still the same punishment, it doesn't really change much. she has to carry around so much more. So I think it's actually a really good punishment. I kind of like the segment too. I usually like those segments when they
Of course you do.
show off the punishments.
Of course you do. I hate them. I'm the opposite, but you like them.
They make me laugh. They bring a good spirit to the game. And people like Ian, Christmas,
They get into
they
it.
love the game. They get into it. They do a good job.
Yeah.
So I like to see it.
So we get to Kaser and Janelle talking in the loft, and Janelle's like, "Listen, I'm sure I'm the target. I'm like a better player than you, if we're being honest. Just I think honestly for your game, it's better that I do leave." And they just they on the feeds, like they didn't show much of this, but on the feeds they just talk about like their friendship and how they met through Big Brother, and how like they don't really talk outside of Big Brother, and it's weird. Like when they're in the house, like they're inseparable, they're best friends, but like they don't really talk outside of the house, and how they wanted to change that, how they wanted to be better friends like outside of the house. But it was just a long conversation. I'm sure they couldn't fit it all in, obviously. But basically what they showed was she's telling Kaser that he needs to just blend in next week, not cause a mess. And he's just like, listen, that's not my game. Like, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to just like bust it all up and do everything I can just to cause havoc.
Yeah, I interpreted that. I sensed that that's kind of how that conversation went. The whole we need to make this better. But I kind of didn't feel like he was. I feel like he was really obviously joking. I feel like it was an obvious joke. He's not, unless he wins HOH, he's not going to go in there and do anything crazy. Because I don't think he's going to be the target either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think. I took it as he was just kind of making jokes, and because that's just kind of their relationship. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll find out.
It didn't really seem like he was going too hard. Like, yeah, I'm going to avenge you and yada yada.
Yeah. And then we get Enzo in the HOH room with Tyler and Cody. And he's talking about how Memphis clearly threw the veto, even though he won against Janelle. He clearly was throwing it. And they're both like, yeah, like, that's weird. Like, after last week and then this, like, we got to do something about Memphis. And the edit made it seem like there was a chance that they may backdoor him, but it was like there was never a shot that was going to happen. Like, it was very clear that the veto was not going to be used no matter what. So
yeah, I know why they do it in the edits.
Yeah, I mean,
otherwise the episode's pretty pointless.
Yeah,
but it's so annoying that they do it because it's so obvious they're not going to use it. Like, you can tell there's no chance. If there was a chance, they would put a lot more emphasis on what's going on.
Yeah.
So
it was very subtle, and then it like immediately went to commercial. So it was like,
yeah, it's like, duh, it's not happening.
Yeah.
And if that did ever happen, I would be mind blown.
Yeah. And then so after this, I think after this was actually the Christmas segment, but we already talked about it. But then after the Christmas segment, they show Janelle kind of campaigning to Cody about how, like, if I stay, this is good for you and Tyler. Like, I'm a huge target. You know I'm not coming after you. Like, I will... And she says, I'll vote with you the next 2 weeks. And this is where I think her campaigning is going wrong. And she's going up to people and being like, I'll keep you safe for 2 weeks. I'll keep you safe for 3 weeks. It's like, you don't need to say 2 or 3 weeks. I get, like, it shows, like, it's more of a, like, you actually will hold up to that, as opposed to being like, I will never go after you. But, like, that's not what they want to hear. Like, no one wants to say, like, oh, I'm good till first week of jury. Who cares? Like, no one wants to be first week of jury. So
yeah, I have never seen one of those 2 week, 3 week deals.
And that's all she's throwing out.
I've seen one time it ever even the person believed it, and then that exact
the next
time
week
it happened, it was the person was instantly screwed over.
Yeah,
I don't know why anyone would ever say would put a limit on the alliance we're going to make.
Yeah,
with the exception of being like, we're good till final 4, final 2. You know, maybe that. But just be like, I got you for 2 weeks. 2 weeks seems like nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's not a good deal.
And that's the only kind of deal she's making. Like, that, her whole campaign has been like, I'll keep you safe for 3 weeks. I'll keep you safe for 2 weeks. And then, like, everybody just runs back to each other. It's like, oh, she gave me 3 weeks. Oh, she gave me 2 weeks. Like, it's just like, why? Like, it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, the campaign that I think that she should be putting together is, I want to work with you, and you. And I want to go far with you guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm the target. If a target comes along, and I'm Janelle.
And also, she doesn't need to focus on, like, if I can get 5, will you be my 6th? She needs to focus on getting the whole house, because it's more likely the whole house votes one way as opposed to like there being a split. No one wants to like be the opposite side and be the side that doesn't vote right. So you're more likely to get the entire house voting one way as opposed to splitting it off and getting a split vote. But that that's not the route she's going.
If you're talking to people saying you're the deciding vote, they're probably going to go with the house.
Yeah, and that's what they say, and that's what everybody's been telling her. Like, I'm just gonna go with the house. I'm gonna go with the house once. Like, if that's what they want, that's what I'll do. But yeah, if you have the 6th, sure, I'll vote for you. Like, whatever. Just tell her what makes her happy. It's not jury yet. Who cares?
Yeah, and you have to go to them and be like, hey, I think I want to stay, and it has to be like, I don't want you to help me campaign, not just I'm gonna try to secure these votes, because you have to.
Yeah, and then like
about making an alliance, to some degree.
Yeah, and then when she says that, they're like, "So who do you have? Like, what votes do you have? No, you have." She's like, "Well, I know I have Bailey, and I mean maybe Davon because of Bailey." And like she doesn't have anybody, so they're like, "I mean, come on, what do you want me to do here? You have nobody." Yeah. So it's just her campaigning so far has not been good, but I'm hoping that we see a little something like yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Now her telling people that she has Bailey and maybe Davon, that's really bad for Bailey and Davon.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
So that's actually likely going to make them targets in the near future.
Yeah, I think we'll end up seeing that, definitely. So then we get to the veto meeting, and it's been weird this season. I don't understand. Like, I feel like we've not seen any, like, speeches like, Kaser stands up. I think please save me because Janelle stands up. We haven't seen any of that. And, like, I don't know if they're just, like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, they're definitely still doing the speeches, but I think the decision's so obvious. It's just like, would we rather fit in 3 minutes?
5 more minutes of Christmas and the stars?
Yeah, or do we want to hear a veto speech of save me?
I would rather hear the veto speech.
I don't want to hear those veto speeches. We've had Nicole versus David, and both of them probably
yeah, but I mean, sometimes we get something
I don't want
decent.
to campaign against Nicole.
They didn't know. They didn't have any speeches.
I think they had. Yeah, they definitely have speeches. We didn't hear them because it's not worth putting it in the edit.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we didn't hear the speech. Yeah,
but that's what the speech is. They all love each other. So
yeah.
it's I don't want to campaign against Nicole. She's my friend. I don't want to campaign against David. He's my friend. Yeah. Then same thing against with Nicole and Janelle, which I think we're gonna see that probably on eviction night, because that one makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
But it's going to be their going away message to each other. Mm-hmm. But it's also the message is literally going to be, I can't ask you to save me over her. I love her. Yeah. I love him, So that's all it's going to be. So
either way, there was no speeches. It was basically just very straight to the point. Cody stands up. He's like, listen, not using it. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Like, sorry, I'm just not using the veto. So he just doesn't use the veto. And I think it was very clear that he wasn't going to use it. No one really thought he was going to use it. So this week kind of played out how everybody thought it was going to play out, which is it sucks. Like I like seeing Janelle and Kaser there, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I really like seeing the people who will potentially cause drama. So seeing the opposition party just instantly be cut and disappear, I hate it, but part of the game.
Yeah, and I know I say this every week, but I mean I'm really excited to see what happens tomorrow, just to see like what happens. But honestly, it is like you get to Wednesday night, and you're like, I'm just excited to see who wins power tomorrow. But we'll see, and I think it's going to be an endurance competition. And if that's the case, but I say this, but Jackson last year they had one to where it was more upper body strength, and Jackson won. So who knows? They might have something that Ian would be good at, or Tyler would be good at, or Memphis would be good at. So I mean, you never know. But I think it's definitely going to be endurance, and I guess we'll see what happens. And I'm willing to say, if David wins this season, I'll never watch Big Brother again. I'll just be done. This is it. One season, and I'll be done. I'm not kidding. That's it. I won't watch it ever again.
All right, he's
David's the worst Big Brother player I think I might have ever seen, and he's on All Stars, and it makes me sick. I don't care. I wasn't gonna do this. I wasn't gonna be like going hard against one person and just mean and hateful against one person, but he's just not good. And like I hope they show a lot of this tomorrow of like what he's done and like how he plays, because it is so bad.
They definitely won't.
And if they don't, I will talk about it because I've got to get it off my chest because it is so bad.
Well, everybody, sounds like next episode is gonna be.
It's gonna be Bash David because
fire.
he's so bad.
It looks like Connor's bringing the fire next episode, so make sure
I
you
just
tune
really
in.
don't like him. I really don't like him, and he shouldn't be there this year. Again, I've said it. If they were gonna bring him back next year. Don't bring him back for an All-Star season when he was out week 1. It just doesn't make sense. He's not a good player. What are you gonna do?
Officially, this is an anti-David podcast.
I'll stand by it. And if he wins this season, I'll never watch Big Brother ever again. But that's all I got. You got anything?
Take it away.
All right. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like. Tell your friends. Tell people that watch Big Brother. If you know people that don't watch Big Brother, try to get them to watch it. Listen to this.
Tell your cousin. Tell your grandma.
I mean, it's a little late to the party, but it's only week 3. You can jump right in. If you want to watch us live, we go live about 30 minutes after every episode at twitch.tv/reality rundown. I mess it up every time. But if you want to watch us live, we're there. And that's all I got. Thanks for listening.
Peace.